What's going on, guys? I'm about to go on a ride with a couple of my buddies down to the beach, but I just shot some clips of the bike, so cue the cringy intro.
So today's video, I just wanted to talk about the future, and more specifically, kind of sacrificing for the future with your, online goals and ambitions. So especially when you're first starting out on any online business, but I have a lot of experience doing Amazon, and when you're first starting up a business and you're getting all these ideas, it can be exciting. But it can also be scary. And the reason why that is because obviously, okay, well, is this going to work? Like, do I want to make this work? Is it worth my time and money putting into it? It can be kind of intimidating. And I think one of the biggest issues when you're first starting out in general, working online and being an entrepreneur, is having that self-doubt. Okay, is this going to work? Am I going to be able to make this my full-time income? Am I doing all the right things? There's so many doubts going through your mind, and it makes it really easy to quit. It seems like there's an easy out. Oh, okay, well, this just isn't going to work. Or maybe you've launched a product, it's not doing well. Oh, okay, well, I guess this doesn't work. It's not plausible for me to do well in this space, and so I'm not going to continue doing that. It doesn't even just have to be fulfillment by Amazon, selling on Amazon stuff. It can be, you're starting up YouTube and you're making videos and it just feels like you've been putting in so much work and there's just nothing, coming of it. And I think one of the biggest things to remember for both of those situations, or any situation where you're, a new entrepreneur, is that where do you want your life to be, 3 years down the line, a year down the line? Where do you want to be? Do you want to be working, a minimum wage job or whatever the alternative is for you, or maybe you have job opportunities that are good. I mean, that's definitely an option. But do you want to be successful being your own boss? And I think that's what's really cool about the internet today, is that you can be your own boss if you put in the time and the effort. Not everyone gets it right the first try. Most people don't. I mean, you look at most successful people, they've failed tens, 20s, hundreds of times. The most successful people usually have the most failure. And it's because they've tried so many different things that they become successful. Now, obviously, some people are really successful right off the bat, and that's awesome. But generally, when people are starting out, there's going to be a lot of mistakes, and you have to be able to persevere and get through those mistakes and issues that you're having to deal with. Most business models are going to take time, okay? I mean, sometimes you see Amazon sellers, for example, they buy a product, they get it in, and after a month they're making like $10,000 a month. That's not usually the case. That's not the norm, okay? Most people, they come in, they'll start selling, and then they have to work at it. They're getting smarter and better with their listings, and then eventually they get to that point. But it takes a lot of time and effort, and a lot of people, what separates the people that are successful working online and the people that are unsuccessful is the dedication towards their end goal, right? You have to constantly be reminding yourself, okay, well, what do I want? I mean, a lot of people are coming in thinking, oh, okay, well, I want to make $10,000 next month, so I'm going to do this online, or I'm going to do that. And that's not how it works. A lot of times it takes time, but you have to think of it in, that way. Okay, well, where do I want my life to be in, a year, 3 years? Do I want to be having this lifestyle where I can, work from home, flexible schedule? I have so much creative opportunity in what I do for my work. There's so many different things that you can do as an online entrepreneur. That's what's so cool, is even if you are getting over, whatever specifically you're doing. Maybe you've been doing Amazon for a while, you've had it all set up, and then that's not exactly, making you happy anymore doing that type of work. Okay, well then I'll just switch over and do something different. Maybe I'm interested in doing social media marketing. Maybe that's, more interesting to you, but there's so many different opportunities online, and that's what makes it so cool. But you have to think, okay, how do I get there? It's funny, a lot of times when people are working online, or really anything in life, maybe you're working out, and a lot of people are like, oh man, I just don't have the motivation to continue, or I need more motivation. A lot of times you see, there's a lot of like motivational videos online and stuff like that. It's not really about motivation. At the end of the day, it's about discipline, right? You might not want to exercise every single day, but you have to have the discipline to make sure it happens. There's certain things in life that do motivate you. Maybe, like for me, for example, in the future, I want to be able to have a lifestyle where I don't have to work 40 hours a week if I don't want to. Maybe that week I, would rather spend time with my family. If, maybe at some point I'll have kids. I want to be able to be there in their life. I don't want to have to, work a huge amount of time if I don't have to. And maybe, I will want to do that in the future. But having the opportunity not to is something that I don't want to give up on. So that's motivation, but that isn't going to help me get out of bed every morning and, run to the gym, right? Or, put in the extra time every single day, right? That's discipline. Because, obviously, when I'm sitting there thinking about it, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds great, but at the end of the day, what's going to get me through today, right? That's such a long-term goal. Most people have super long-term goals, like, oh, I want to make, $1 million. Oh, I want this supercar. Oh, I want this nice house. But those are super long-term goals and not day-to-day goals. And so obviously setting smaller goals helps, but having discipline to work every single day is much better. And that's, easier said than done, obviously, but you can't look at it in a way of, oh, well, I just, I need more motivation. No, it's discipline and, putting the effort in. So going back to my original idea about sacrificing for the future, you have to think of it as a day-to-day thing of, okay, is it, is this going to help me long-term, right? Are my actions today going to, make it easier to get to my goals long-term? And then having the discipline to stay with those goals. I think it's super cool when I look at some of my favorite YouTubers online, ranging all over the place. One that sticks out in my mind is the Hodge twins, who it's a fitness channel. But there's basically everyone that's ever done YouTube never started YouTube for the money aspect of it. They're just doing it because they have a passion to make videos. Maybe they like being creative and sharing their work with the world. But I think it's so cool to see that they've stuck with it literally for years and years and years, and then now they're seeing, the fruits of their labor, right? A lot of these people that are really big YouTubers, they've been doing it for like 10 years, right? They've been doing it, since what, like late, like 2008, 2009. A lot of the really big ones right now, they're going 10 plus years. They put in so much work, and but that work is helping them out now. And it's really hard, I think, to think that far into the future. Okay, 5 years from now, like, what do I want, right? But if you knew for a fact that, okay, if I put in this work every single day for 3 years and someone promised you they would give you $1 million, would you do it? And I guarantee if you knew if there was, some way of knowing if you would, be successful at that certain point, you would continue on, doing what you're doing and, maintaining that work. But I think the biggest struggle that most people have, including myself, is the unknown of, oh, okay, well, what if it doesn't work? And I think the most important thing to remember about, having, that doubt and making sacrifice is that it might not happen tomorrow. It might not happen next week. It might not even happen at the end of the year. But if you continue to strive and be the best at whatever you're doing, you will be successful at some point. I definitely think that being an entrepreneur is not for everyone just because of the struggle of, finding that discipline to work every single day and not have instant results and gratification. It's not like just a regular desk job where you can show up and, get your paycheck every 2 weeks and nothing's really dependent on what you do necessarily, because you're going to be getting paid pretty much no matter what, unless you get fired. Whereas if you're doing something where you're self-employed, you're not getting paid at all. You could not be getting paid for the first few months, especially like these YouTube creators. Like I said, they could not be being paid for the first 3 years. But if you can be, have that discipline to, last and continue doing what you're doing, at some point, something's going to catch, and you will do well with what you're doing. It really just comes down to being, consistent with everything that you're doing, and staying on top of everything, and just remembering what it is that you actually want down the line, and not just thinking about the now. Well, I am just about pulling up to the ice rink. I'm about to go ice skating with some friends. If you guys like the video, make sure to like down below and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I talk about Amazon FBA and Facebook ads and stuff of that sort. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and I will see you guys in the next video.